Welcome to
Testimonial Talks.
This is YouTuber Mom,
This is YouTuber Son.
and today we are reviewing our wolf stove. Okay, and we want to let you guys know what we love, what we hate, what we like just okay about this stove. So stay tuned for a detailed explanation of our favorite parts and our not so favorite parts about our wolf stove.
Okay, guys, so we're going to review the Wolf Stove, which is 36-inch professional gas cooktop, 5 burners. And then the model number is CG365 dash
P. No, it says P,
P
slash S.
S.
Yeah, mommy has really bad handwriting. And that was Steven's part to do the model number. So yeah, I have to work on that. It's a work in progress, right? I'm
Yeah.
getting better. So, anyways, guys, as Steven did say, we are reviewing our Wolf stove, and we are going to walk you guys through everything that this stove has to offer. So on the screen, you just saw or are seeing the specifications about this stove. I won't be boring you guys with these details because I posted them here so that you could pause the video, take a look, and then you could go ahead and measure at home and other things. So these are the options that come with this stove. It does have 5 burners. One of them is extremely hot. One of them is not so hot, and the other ones are just your basic normal, you're not in a rush type of burners. So as far as BTUs and all of that, I'll let you read that on the screen. Again, you can pause the video and go through that. I just basically want to show you the dummy version. Well, the version as as an everyday user who doesn't know much about stoves or what BTUs are, etc. I just know what works and what doesn't. So I'm just gonna go through those details, so please stay with me, okay? And guys, as you can see on the screen, these are the buttons that, well, the knobs that you can order with this stove. You can have various colors. I opted for the red and the brushed stainless steel, and they are both gorgeous, and I don't see anything destroying these knobs. And I'll show you what my stove looks like after 4 to 5 years of ownership, guys. I want to let you know, as I have before, I am a busy mother, parent of many children, and I do use this stove every single day. And my goodness, almost 5 years later, this stove still impresses me. It looks phenomenal. And of course, there are little details and things that some of you may find really annoying. And for that reason, this may not be the correct stove for you. So let me walk you through a non-biased, my opinion, of course, about this stove, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, what could have been better, etc., etc. So as you can see here, this is my stove currently at my house. Yes, it does look this shiny, okay? This stove is really, really easy to maintain. Like I said, I don't see anything destroying this stove anytime soon. And it's not like I use any special treatments or chemicals to clean it. I simply wipe it clean and I go about my day. So let me show you. And here, guys, let's talk about the knobs. Like I said before, this is the current state of my knobs. And these knobs, my goodness, I can't say it enough. Almost 5 years after owning my Wolf stove, these knobs look this impressive. As you can see, the stainless steel around the knobs also looks phenomenal. If you pay close attention to the grain of this stainless steel, you'll see that it does have minor scratches. When I zoom in, you'll be able to see that. But again, it's not something that is, oh my gosh, I can't stand it, can't wait to replace this stove or anything like that. If you look at the Wolf name, how it is etched onto the stove, I have scrubbed and scrubbed this stove so many times, and this is the worst that it has gotten if you see the zoom in version. So it's really not that bad for 5 years later. I did expect that this stove would be destroyed with the way that we use it, but I guess you get what you pay for. On the other hand, yes, the knobs look beautiful and everything, but one minor detail I don't specifically like about these knobs is the fact that if you can see there, when I open that up, this, well, ignore that little thing there. We press something burning against this knob, so it's not the manufacturer's fault, but something did happen to it. That's a long story. Anyways, if you can see there between the crevice, that little trap right there, not ideal. And yes, I call it a trap because anything that goes in there pretty much stays until you grab something fine like a toothpick, go in there and clean it really well. I do try to keep my stove really clean, but sometimes, that's not possible, and a job on top of it. So if you pay close attention, that is one of the negative things about the stove so far. So let me walk you through the other portions of the stove, which is the grates. Okay, so guys, these grates are amazing. As you can see, even till date, they look phenomenal. But one minor thing that happened to these grates shortly after ownership was, I guess, the glue they used to put together the little feet, or the rubber piece that sits between the grates and the platform of the stove, that area there. Unfortunately, I'm not an expert in parts of appliances, and so you have to bear with me. Anyways, the silver portion there, the stainless steel portion that you see there, the base platform, whatever you want to call it, that the grate sits on, the grates come with this rubber feet, okay? And I'll show you in a second what I mean. So here, as I lift it up, these are the little rubber feet I'm referring to, and they snap right in place there. They were supposed to be glued permanently. That's how the manufacturer sent them. But I guess with excessive use, heat, you name it, these little feet started to come off. I did not replace them or order a new set because I did not think of this as a great deal or something to be concerned about until I show you what happened. So if you just got this stove or you are considering buying it, I would strongly advise that as soon as these little feet come off, you want to contact your manufacturer and let them know that this happened. And if you are still under your 2-year warranty, they'll probably ship over the little feet and the glue for you to fix that, or they'll send somebody over. Wolf is really great. They have great customer service, so they should be able to assist you with that. But please don't fall asleep on that, because I'll show you what could happen if you don't take care of that. But again, that's a negative about this stove. But other than that, the grates, I think they still look decent, for 5 years of use and constant use at least once a day. So, not too bad. But here is the rest of the stove. But let me show you guys. Here is what I told you guys could happen if you don't order those feet. I thought at the beginning, oh well, who cares? The grates are going to sit on the stove anyways, and any area that could get scratched is not going to be visible. Well, I was wrong. That's not the case. As you saw, the stove is now permanently stained, and I don't see that ever coming out because that is burnt, okay, from the big burner being way too close to the stainless steel. So That's one thing that happened really, really fast, almost as soon as we got the stove. And I wish that I had done something about it, but I was way too busy running around kids and also having a job. So that's not something I got to do. So if this happens to you, please be sure to take care of it. Just a word of advice, of course. And now, guys, let's talk about the dual stack burners. The dual stack burners, they are great. You can go from, like the manufacturer advertises, really high heat to a nice, delicate little simmer. And the stove does deliver on that aspect. It is really fantastic. It has not let me down. However, what I'm showing you guys here is this is the hottest burner that the stove comes with, okay, the 18,000 BTUs. If you have really small children, it is really hard to you got I get all nervous and choked up when I talk about this, because just watching this stove on, at least that main burner, is a very scary thing when you have little guys running around. And if you can see, I don't have a lot of counter space between the stove and the actual edge of the counter. So if a little person that is under 2 feet tall goes by that stove, and their little hair could catch on fire, or their little hands if they try to touch something, because there is not as far as safety, I would probably not put a stove like this in the way that we designed our kitchen. This is probably ideal for an island type of scenario, so that you do have ample space in between the burners and the counters, so that it's safe from little hands, okay, little children. Because otherwise, as you saw, the heat does go even over the pads that you put on there, okay, and it's just so strong. And of course you could control it, but if you're in a rush trying to get dinner going, trying to get something to boil really quickly, you want to use your hot burner, which is probably why you want to get this stove anyway. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And let me now walk you guys through the burner covers. Well, you'll see what I'm talking about, because I'm sure that I am murdering a lot of the pieces to this stove. Again, guys, I am not a salesman or an expert in appliance pieces or names or anything like that. I just like what I like and I use what I have. So bear with me on that aspect. So please refer to the video as I am telling you guys what I like and dislike about this stove. So what you see here is a stain that unfortunately took place when we had a massive oil spill on our house. We had gotten this new deep fryer, which we thought was gonna work out great, but it ended up spilling all over the stove. And unfortunately, one of us put the stove on, well, this burner on, while we had still a little bit of oil on it, and it permanently stained. And I'm hoping that with constant use that stain will go away, but it's not that bad, because the burner cover is still covering it really well. And anyways, it's not something to worry about too much, as it still does work. But you can see how great these plates look even years after use. And you saw me with my little rag there. I only really wipe this stove clean with a little bit of dish soap, your regular dish soap, when I'm done cooking, and I just leave it. If I need to detail it, then that's a different story. There's a lot more involved, but for the most part, this is where we are.
Hey guys, so I just wanted to tell you to please follow me on Roblox, and so because I want to make a video with like all of you guys in like the stores game. Yeah, I thought it would be fun. So yeah, just please make sure to follow me.
Yeah, he does play that game supervised, FYI, guys.
Yeah, I play doors.
Okay, guys, and now that you saw that and you were introduced to Roblox, I want to show you guys this. So if you don't catch it, please rewind so that you could see what I mean. This stove, like I said, is great so far, and I do love it, but it has little details that I'm not sure if it's a defect of my stove personally, or if all the stoves that are this model are going to have this problem. So this little knob, you try to control the heat and you go from high to low, no problem. If you try to go from high to medium or anything else, the little knob just glides back. So if you rewind a little bit, you'll see what I mean. It's really hard to catch on video, but it does glide back where it doesn't let you control it. So most of the knobs have that problem. At least the ones that I use most often. The little ones that are just regular 9000 BTUs don't have the issue, but the big main burner does have that problem, and the next biggest also has that problem. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but it was sort of always like that. But again, one of those things that when you have a new kitchen, you're just too excited, too busy paying attention to everything else, and little things that you say, oh, it's not so bad, and you kind of get used to it until one day something gives out. So if you're having that issue, I would say address it early on. Unfortunately, I waited till my warranty expired to want to make a big deal about it, and I was a little bit too late. So now let me walk you guys through the rest of the stove. There, guys, is my damage to the problem that I had with the missing rubber feet. So address that issue if that happens to you so that it's not too late. And guys, the other portion about this stove is the manufacturer specifies that this stove is a sealed dual stack burner. And I have to be completely honest with you guys. If you have a normal spill, say you're boiling pasta and water overflows, that water is staying on the stove. It's not going anywhere. Okay, within reason, of course. Say you are making a soup and it spills over, nothing's gonna happen. A sauce, nothing's gonna happen. Unfortunately, oil will leak through. I guess the density, whatever it is, it will leak through. But water and anything else, I have not ever had anything leak through the stove into the drawers. But I did have an oil spill and I ended up with a nasty mess in my drawers. Okay. Other than that, the stove is really, really easy to clean and maintain. The edges are very, very tightly sealed, guys, and nothing gets through those edges. Not sure if it had a rubber or something in there, but it actually is really, really nice and keeps really, really clean. And here, guys, is a better look, well, not better look or anything, but I guess a broader view of the entire surface of the stove, which, like I said, is not brand new looking, but it still looks, I will say, pretty darn good for every single day. This stove has been used at least once within the last 5 years. I think, guys, that this Wolf stove is extremely well priced, being the value that it is offering. At least that's my opinion. The way that this stove has behaved for me has been great. So that's one thing. Now I just want to show you guys how the stove looks when it's dirty, at least after I've used it for dinner and other meals in between. And this is a transition to how quickly it can clean in a span of about 5 minutes, definitely under 10 minutes, okay, if it's just a regular everyday cleanup. So again, really, really easy to maintain. So now let's talk about cooking and boiling, how fast the stove could boil some water for you guys. This stove, like I said, is 18,000 BTUs, whatever that means. Sorry, guys, you may have to do a little Google, but I know that it is something along the lines that how hot it gets, how fast it could boil something. So let's walk you through that. Okay, guys, so what I've done here is I grabbed my Viking pot, and I want to show you guys. This pot is about 3 liters. It can hold about 3 liters of water. So what I did is I filled this pot up to 2 liters of tap water. Okay, cold, to the coldest setting, tap water up to 2 liters. And then I set my timer to 20 minutes, okay? And then I put the stove, and this is the hottest burner, okay? I put the hottest burner on for about 20 minutes, and I was just waiting to see when it started to boil like this. Then I turned it off, and I want to show you guys what time that was. So you could do your own math. This is now 13 minutes and about 10 seconds left of the timer, and the pot had already boil, or brought to a boil bubble. I think you understand me. Again, guys, with me, you may have to refer to the images often because of I'm a second language speaker, so it can be a little difficult at times. But anyways, it brought the water to a boil in less than 7 minutes. And to me, that is huge, because if you want to cook dinner in a matter of 15 minutes, this stove would allow you to do that, depending on what it is you're cooking, of course. But it gets super, super hot. Okay, that is all. I really had to, give you guys about the details of the stove. As far as the final verdict, if I could do it all over again, would I get this Wolf 36-inch gas cooktop? And the answer, guys, is absolutely yes. The minor little defects that this stove brought with it do not take away from how awesome it is and how aesthetically pleasing it is. Like, my goodness, when I clean this stove, I look at it and I feel like, oh, it's clean. It just looks so good, and it cooks really well. Just don't try to lower the heat because that's done. That doesn't really work. At that point, you may just have to move the pot to another burner. But anyways, besides the point, the fact is that I would get the stove again if I was given the opportunity. So I hope this video helps you make your decision, and if it does, guys, it would help us tremendously if you did subscribe to our channel, as we are trying to build a nice community of trustworthy individuals that still give out honest reviews despite being paid for advertisement, which we are not. But we have hopes, but again, nothing but honest reviews here. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.